Machines. We have so many machines in our lives. Computers, televisions, planes, washing machines, smartphones. It is hard to imagine a world without these things. This is the story of how these machines came into our lives. Before the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries, people lived in small villages and grew their own food. Most people owned very few things, maybe just some clothes and a few tools. People made things at home. They made things by hand, and even simple objects took hours to complete. This all changed with the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution allowed people to leave the farms to work in factories in towns and cities. This gave people more money and allowed people to buy things. It created a consumer market. The birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution started in Britain because it had a lot of coal and iron. It was also a country which controlled large parts of the world at that time. This gave Britain a huge market to buy from and a marketplace to sell the goods they made. Great inventions. This was a time for new inventions, new machines, and new ideas. One of the first developments was a way to make clothes faster. For a very long time, people had to spin yarn to make clothes. Richard Arkwright designed and improved upon machines that could make cotton into yarn and save a lot of time. On his and other machines, cloth could be made quickly and easily. The process was 3 or 4 times faster than by hand. His inventions led to the creation of factories and teams of workers working together. But to do this, the machines needed power. Power. Water wheels driven by falling water and windmills powered by the wind had created power for centuries. Some very important inventions at the end of the 18th century were new machines and devices that could create power to drive the machines in the factories. Steam power changed everything because it could be used when the water wheels and windmills were not turning. If you had a steam engine as well as water and heat, then power could be made at any time, anywhere. Iron and steel. Other major inventions included better and more effective ways to make iron and steel, which made the Industrial Revolution possible. To make steel and iron, people had to dig the iron and coal from under the ground. It was very hard and dangerous work. The steel and iron were used to make other machines, bridges, trains, and many goods for everyday use. Transportation booms. There were huge advances in transportation, too. Steam engines and steel were used to create trains and steamships. The steel was used to build railroads and bridges that could be used to carry things all over the world. Trains were quicker than ships, too. In the 1820s, a Scottish man called John McAdam developed a way to build roads that were smoother and lasted longer. This allowed people, and later cars, to travel or carry things between towns and villages more quickly and with less trouble. Social developments. The Industrial Revolution was also a time of great social change. Cities developed, housing changed, and people lived differently. The factory owners became richer and could buy more things. Lifestyles and health improved for many. But it was not all good. Millions of people lived in poor conditions and had to work long hours. In addition, the conditions were often dangerous in the factories. The Industrial Revolution changed the world. It was a time when the world started to live in cities and people made and bought new things that their parents could only have dreamed of. By the middle of the 19th century, industrialization was well established in most of Europe and North America. It would change economic, political, and social life for decades to come.